The horrible thing about the Belgian Congo was the perverse incentive there was bullets were expensive. So if a Belgian soldier went off in the woods and shot a rabbit or something like that, he either had to come back with the shell or a human hand. And this is true. They did horrible atrocity things. So a lot of people were walking around with stumps on the end of their hands, their arms, not because they did anything wrong, but because these Belgians had to account for this horrible thing. So we've seen this. There was a thing in the Veterans Administration that you can look up. I've written an article or two on my blog, salestactics.org. If you look up perverse incentives in there. There was a Soviet glass plant that made glass that was too thin and then too thick because they were trying to meet performance measures given to them, like quantities, right? But the glass was useless, right? So this is the idea of a perverse incentive. $200 million electrical wholesaler I worked for a long time ago. They would courier internal stock. There was like 22 branches in Western Canada, right? So they would courier this item overnight in an envelope. That would make the inventory spot in the other location open up, so they would reorder that. Then the person, the end customer would say, "Nah, I don't want it," and they'd send it back. Imagine the costs piling up, right, of this expensive reorder point, inventory purchases. The end customer doesn't even want it. It's just money wasted. I did a project on this. And so it was just a money loser, right, at the time. So, and we've covered it already in the software as a service field. If you're a SaaS founder and you believe that more new customers is your best KPI, but you buy customers who don't stick, you're going to go out of business, right? That's a bad KPI. That's a perverse incentive, right? So, and I've got lots of examples of these. It's like boiling to death like the frog in the pot when you turn the temperature up a little bit at a time, right? Suddenly the frog's dead, and it's like, what happened? So, but these things, we need those feedback loops to check for perverse incentives and go, is this really helping? You see that, like, we've got the Veterans Administration thing, I think was, we've got to make the appointment times drop. I want it 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something like that, instead of an actual session with a doctor for half an hour or something.